Come take a look at the newest Billy Badass for the Slaves to Darkness. This, of course, is Slambo, straight out of the 80s, the exalted hero of chaos.
Spiking bits.
What's going on, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Baer here with you again today, talking about Mr. Slambo. Hadn't seen this guy in a while, then all of a sudden it's like, boom, crazy new splash release right here. So just taking a look at the back here, they go into some, just talking about kind of the mortal realm, the whole like slaves to darkness kind of thing here. He's a maniac. He likes to find people and kill them. There's his paint scheme right there. Incubi darkness, calibite green, and moot green. Fan of the moot green, not quite as bright as some of the colors out of P3, but does the Lord's work right there for sure. And there's the original one, the pewter one on a new 32mm base that is not included in this particular box set here. Now, kind of curious about this model. It is Finecast. You can probably hear the pieces shaking around in there. I don't exactly know why they did that. I don't know what's up with Games Workshop, why they do what they do when they do, etc., etc. But there it is, Finecast. Of course, they don't call it Finecast anymore. They call it resin. They might have had a little, well, let's just say the rollout of Age of Sigmar wasn't the only thing they kind of fumbled the ball on, publicity-wise, inside of their company. Of course, Finecast has been universally panned and hated by the community since it's rolling out in, I want to say 2011. They've been pretty quiet about it. You know, they'll always say resin, and it's almost like the squats. They don't say that word. But taking a look at some of the detail here, they have gotten better at using the material, of course. Like I said, it's way more frail, definitely harder to work with. I mean, look at those axes. Like, they're kind of derpy axes. They don't even sit right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for this to be kind of a collector's piece and kind of a, hey, remember this guy kind of type deal, I'm just not feeling it. Like, the amount of work, I don't even know how to work with Finecast. I've never dedicated any hobby resources because just the fact that I figured they would stop making it, and I don't understand why they keep using it. Of course, it is way more detailed, but I feel like, why don't they just use resin at that point? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't have all the information to make an informed opinion about it, besides the fact that every fiber of my being hates this material. But I'm trying to remain objective about it. As I review it, however, this does look like a good cast, aside from the fact that, we do see a little derpy axe action right there. And again, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know, do you boil it in water? Do you put it in hot water? Do you bend it? We've seen in the past, people have posted up pictures of their miniatures that they left in the sun and it just kind of like leaned over. It didn't snap, but it just kind of leaned. So I don't even know how to approach working with this stuff. And I mean, you can tell when they basically pop it out of the mold and it's already like completely bent here, that you're already getting a bend on these legs. So they're probably not going to line up with this particular piece here. However, the Canoness was roughly the same way, the limited edition Sisters of Battle Canoness that came out, and you seem to see plenty of her up online, all painted up and not looking derpy. So there's got to be a way to work with the stuff that I am just not familiar with, and I have not devoted the hobby resources to dealing with it, just because of the fact that this stuff kind of drives me nuts. But you can see the detail. There is no question this is a highly detailed product as far as that goes. It's just, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, do you possess the hobby tools necessary, and not just actual tools, like the wherewithal, the minerals to work with this material and not get frustrated and not just throw it out the window? And do you have that drive? Like, do you have that drive to put this model together? Does it speak to you in that regard? Like, from straight out of the 80s, I suppose, from the years of old there. I don't know. I do not possess said hobby spirits, so to speak, to just dive into a project like this. But that doesn't mean that there isn't the folks out there that have absolutely no problem working with Finecast. I guess it's just kind of like a personal preference and opinion kind of thing at this point. I'm not a fan of it, as you can tell, but I am, again, trying to remain objectable in this review here. So there it is. Again, highly detailed, looks very easy to put together. Let's talk about his rules, because his rules are pretty awesome, to be quite honest. I think, I'm not sure on his points yet, because they haven't come out in the app, but here he is right here. and obviously very easy to put together. You could kind of piece that together just from looking at it. Left, right arm, head, torso, and our 2-part legs. But there he is right there. Okay, so as far as rules go, pretty spectacular. Bravery of 8, 5 wounds, 4 up save, 5-inch move. So he's a little bit slow and purposeful, but that's okay. Most humans are. If he chucks his axe at people, it's an 8-inch range, 1 attack, 3's a hit, 3's a wound, -2 Ren, damage D3, which is pretty respectable. Strangely enough, to hit, it's a little bit harder to hit, and you'll see why in a second. He has a 1-inch range, 6 attacks, 4's to hit, 3's to wound, -1 Ren, 1 damage. But if he if Slambo charges, he can pile in and attack twice in the following combat phase instead of only once. The second pile in move and attacks are made immediately after the first round of attacks or first set of attacks is completed. So that might be why it's a little bit harder for him to hit. But again, there's a lot of things out there to give you +1 to hit. You just have to kind of stack your abilities and go for the throat, so to speak. Glory Seeking Madman, add 1 to hit rolls made for Slambo if the target is a hero or a monster. So if you're going for a decapitation strike or a monster hunt, well, he will get it done with this much damage right here. -1 Ren, going after stuff that's only, you know, in the realm of 8 to 10 wounds. He will probably do the Lord's work on it and be able to survive perhaps the ensuing retort of attacks himself. There's some match play rules, of course, if you're doing the Path to Glory kind of type deal. And, oh no, here's his points right here. Gosh, this isn't even, it was right in front of me the whole time. So he is 80 points. He's a leader. Only one of the model can be included in a pitch battle. That's cool. Wow, 80 points. Okay. I definitely like that. I think that's pretty balanced. 100 points I would have been a little questionable about, but 80 points seems to fall in line. Just knowing what I know about the Slaves to Darkness seems to fall in line with kind of like a mid-level Lord. Some of the Chaos Lords, I believe, are 110, 115. I know some of the Exalted Sorcerer Lords are more, but they're totally worth it. So I want to say this is actually a really good thing. Of course, his battlefield role is leader, so you're going to have to, check where he fits in with your current army. But I mean, for 80 points, I think he's well worth picking up as far as that goes. Again, he is Finecast, so you got to ask yourself, hey, can I make this out of something else? Or am I going to go ahead and take on this hobby project? Because he does look here, he looks fantastically painted. But again, to get it to that point, well, we all know that could be an uphill climb, so to speak. But don't let me discourage you. I do not want to do that. It's obviously a superior product as far as detail goes. And at $25, definitely kind of fits into the whole Games Workshop pricing schema, so to speak, when you start seeing a lot of models out there go for a lot more money-wise, so to speak. So there he is, Slambo, the Exalted Hero of Chaos, coming to tabletops in the Mortal Realms this weekend.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.